For my video today, I want to show you how to make this really cool design. Obviously, this would be great for a border, and that is what something like this might often be used for, but you could even combine these for like long stripes down a bedspread or across a bedspread, something like that. So if you look at this, everything looks like it's kind of interlocking. This looks like it's complicated. It's actually not very complicated to put together, but there's a little bit of a trick to it when you get to the layout part of it. So I'm going to go through that with you so that you can be able to reproduce this yourself. I'm doing these two colors because they're going to stand out more than that blue and that green. So what this needs is it needs two different strip sets. And so instead of taking you through the process of making these strip sets, it's pretty straightforward. What you want to do is, for this in particular, what I've done is I have 1.5-inch strips that I cut for each of the colors, and then I have 4.5-inch strips that I cut in each of the colors. And then for the background, this is a 1.5-inch strip here, and then this is a 2.5-inch strip, and then this down below is a 3.5-inch strip. Now, you could absolutely scale this up, and so the way to think of it, if you want to scale it up, is that you have, this is your 1, and so you have a 1, and then a 4, and then in the background, you will have a 1, and then you will need a 2 and a 3. So if you wanted to double this size, then you just double that. This would be a 2.5, 2.5, 8.5, 4.5, and 6.5. That's going to be pretty large, but if that's what you want to do, that's what you can do. So I'm doing this in 1.5 because, as you can see, this is already pretty wide. This is actually 11.5 inches, so it's actually a fairly large strip. So the first thing that I want to do here is I want to cut these into 1.5-inch strips. Whenever you cut into these strips, you could absolutely do it with a regular ruler, and you could line it up. You could cut them into the strips that way. I like to use this tool that is called the Stripology. And so the Stripology is a specialty cutting ruler that makes it really easy to cut strips. And so the nice thing about this is that they have these stars, and in the legend it says 1.5-inch cuts. And so if I just follow the stars, it's really simple. And this one is the regular size. So that's just what I like to go with. You do not have to go with this, but I find it very, very helpful. So I'm trying to line this up so that these lines are going to be fairly straight going across. And then I'm going to start at my 0. And then I'm going every 1.5. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just pause it there because I'll be able to show the layout with this many strips pretty easily. I'm going to set this aside, but absolutely you'd want to go through and you'd want to cut everything. And if you have to kind of reposition because things can go slightly bent whenever you're pressing, then you can just reposition. Now, I forgot to mention that for these in this particular demo, I cut this off of the 18-inch side of fat quarters. So these are actually 18 inches. This is a great one to do for with the fabric if you want to. And this piece here was cut off of the 18 inches. And so as you can see, it actually makes a very long piece. So if you do with the fabric, this will end up being a pretty long piece that you can use. So now I am ready to set up my second strip set. And I just want to see, I think I want to, I think I'll flip this around because it looks like this one's a little bit more even. So again, I'm trying to kind of line things up so that I can really utilize this strip set pretty well, get as much as I can out of it. And again, starting at the 0, and then I cut every 1.5 inches. And as I said before, you could do this with a regular ruler. I like using this because I just lay it down the one time, and then I can just keep cutting on across, and it works really, really well that way. So we have all of these pieces, now what? So now we get to the fun part. So here is what I want you to do. if you really, really want to make this, okay? I mean, if you're just watching this and you decide you don't want to make it, then I guess it doesn't matter. But if you really want to make this, this is the most complicated part of this, because everything else that we're doing is beginner level, but this next bit with the layout is more of an intermediate level because it gets a little confusing. What I want you to do is I want you to save this video somehow. So you can share it to Pinterest, Facebook, whatever sort of a thing that you use so you can keep track of it. However you need to save this so that you can keep track of this so that you can come back to this video, and that way you can queue up into the video where you need to be so that you can do your layout when you're ready. And then after you've done that, you can take some regular paper. This is graph paper. Graph paper makes everything simpler. And what you're going to do is I have gone through here and I have done a layout. And so I'm going to show you what that looks like. So angle this like this. And then what you want to do is you want to just kind of look at how I've done this in here. Okay, so I'll get this out of the way so you can see it better. And then just go ahead and start drawing what you see. So you're going to draw a 4x1 rectangle like that, and then a little 1 bit there, and then a 1 bit there, and then there's a 4 rectangle there, and then below it you have the square, a 4x1 rectangle, a 4x rectangle here, square, 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 4x1 rectangle, 4x1 rectangle, square, square. So if you draw this out, then as you're looking at this, and just pause the video, okay? As you're looking at this, you can get out, after you've kind of drawn this, you can get out colored pencils, marker, different colored pen, highlighter, something like that, and go ahead and just color in what these rectangles are colored, and like here I did a red and I did a yellow. So, I mean, you don't have to do blue and green, just do whatever you have on hand. And then for the background, you could either leave it white or I shaded this in with a gray. And then this is going to become your reference. Once you have this all drawn, that's going to become your reference. Alternatively, I guess you could leave this video up and you could have it paused and you could follow it that way. But this way you can have it so that anytime you're doing stuff and you're not at your computer, TV, don't have your phone with you, then you have it written down and you can just go with it. So if I look at this, then I have this one right here. So I have it like that. So that's going to be that one. And then for this next one, I need the same thing, but as you can see, it's flipped. And so I'm going to flip it. Now I need to have these two pieces forming a junction right there. Okay. So now I'm ready for the next two pieces, and those are going to be from the second strip set. So we have, let's see, okay, so we have this piece. Sorry if I was pointing the wrong thing before. We have this piece, and then we have this piece. So now we're ready for this piece. So we have that one facing up. And so this one's pretty easy because we know that we need to form that right angle there, and we need to form the right angle there. So we have that. And then, just like before, we're going to flip the piece around. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have these 2 points touching. So you're going to have it like that. So I'm going to move this up just so that you can see a difference there. Okay. So now I'm ready to go back to the first of those 2 strip sets. So I have that piece. That is going to line up with that one. And then the pink lines up with that. So you have your right angles. And then you're going to flip it around. And then you're going to have these 2 points touch. Just like that. And then we're going to go with the second strip set. And now we have our right angles. And then we flip that around. And we have our points there. Okay, my camera cut out on me all of a sudden. Towards the end of what I was doing, I was putting these sets together. And so I have these 3 where I have penned them, and I have that way. And so that's pretty simple. You just go ahead and you can use the clips like I have here, or you can use pens. And you just want to join it right there and join it right there so that those are matching. And then that way, when you're feeding it through the machine, it should actually match up and give really nice junctions right there. So I have these three. I'm going to go ahead and stitch these up, and then that way we can start to really see this take shape. I've sewn those three sets here, and so I have them. And so here we go. We would have it like this, and then like that. And then you can see you have the square there, you've got the square there. Now, you may have noticed that these sets are exactly the same. So if you flip this around, this is actually the same thing, right? So you could just go ahead and take one of each strip. So I have this one together. I'm going to put it apart. So you could take one of each of these strips, all right? As long as you know which one is always going to be on top, that would be fine. However, make sure that you do it the same every single time if you do it that way. Because what will happen is if you decide to put it this way, okay, then what will happen is that you don't have anything that this can match to create your chain. So you've just made it to where now you have to have, I mean, now this is actually doing a different kind of a diagonal. And so there's nowhere that you can really put it. So just make sure that if you're going to just take, one of each strip and put them together, that you always put them together in the same way. And so you always put them together this way if you're following that. Or if you decided to do it this way, then you do every single thing that way. Otherwise, your chain is not going to be a chain. It's going to be mismatched. It's not going to work. So during that break, I went through and I cut all of my pieces that I had to do. And I have everything sewn but the two that I was showing you there. So now we can just build this. All right. And if you need to, because the first time you make this, obviously you're not going to have one of these strips available. So if you need to, you can come back to this video and reference it and make sure that you remember what you need to do. So you want to match up the center point on all of these. So again, I'm going to go two at a time. So in this case, it's a set of two with a set of two. And then I'm going to take my binding clip, and I'm just going to make sure that that is a nice intersection. And then I have that nice and figured out. Now, as an added type of a thing, what I can do is I could put pins or clips on the underside here just to aid in feeding it through, but it's not necessary. And so I'm going to take the next one, and let's see, is that way off? Okay. So I'm going to take the next one, and then I'm just going to clip that. And the next one, and I can get that clipped. And as you can see, these are really going to start to look a little strange because now you have this big area that's going way off that way on the top, and then you have this kind of long tail that's going on the bottom. But what's nice is just like with the first join, you've only got that little bit that's kind of hanging out. So that's easy enough to feed through the machine. You're not going to waste a lot of thread. So I'm going to go ahead and get stitching on these now. Now that I've gone through and I've joined these, so, just like with anything else, you just join it bit by bit. And it's a lot of fun at that point. Even furry supervisors might want to help you. So after I have all of that done, I'm going to have a piece that looks like this. So how do I get it to go from this to this, where I have it nice and squared off at the edges? That is pretty easy. I'm going to go ahead and line this up, and I got my little peaks, and I've got those kind of worked out that way. And so now all I am going to do is just line this up, and then I can just cut this, just like that. So now I have this piece, and this is the thing, very important that you have the exact same number of both strip sets for what you've cut for your little strips, because now you can take this over here and you can just match it right up on the other end, and it is going to be squared off on both ends. So I'm going to get this one sewn up, and then I will do the rest of the trimming here. Now I have all of that stitched up. That looks great. So I'm going to go ahead and get this trimming on the edges. So let me get this one out of the way, because I need the depth of this table here to be able to do this, because this is actually pretty long at this point. So I am just kind of matching up with those centers. With this one, it ends up being about 375. This strip is going to end up being, or I should say, this border is going to end up being 7.5 inches wide. And so now I can just line that up like that. And then I'm just going to cut. And I'm fine with this much waste. This is not really that much fabric. The design that I spotted this off of and then drafted it, figured it out, actually had a little bit more waste than that. So this is a less of a waste version of this particular design. So like that. All right, so I have it flipped around, and I can line this up so that I end up seeing if I can get this to about 7.5 pretty well. So I should be able to. There we go. That looks pretty good. And here this is, all nice and trimmed. And I have the other one. So these end up being pretty close to the same. It looks like my blue and green one is just a little bit longer, especially if you did the width of fabric. This would be very good for being able to probably span about 70 or so inches. So I think that works very nicely. You can definitely put a strip on either side of this. I haven't decided what I'm going to do. Probably going to go with some kind of a color for that. And it's far enough away that it's going to seem like this design is floating. This particular style that I have demonstrated to you is what is called Seminole piecing, or Seminole-style piecing. And sometimes it's called Seminole patchwork. So I'm going to show you some examples. I have this one. This is a very elementary style of Seminole patchwork. And then I have this one as well. This is a chevron where I did 60 degrees, and this one I just had them go opposite ways so it would create this nice chevron. But, you could do something where you do a long strip, cut it in half, and then you could have all of them one direction on one strip, all of them the other direction on the other strip, and create a nice long chevron if you wanted to. And the cool thing about Seminole patchwork is there is a ton of different designs. This refers to this technique of making strip sets and then cutting them and then putting them at an angle, or in this case, cutting them at an angle and then putting them straight. That's also a version of Seminole-style patchwork. And Seminole, as in the Native American tribe that is based out of the southeastern United States part of North America. So Native American, or you might want to think of it as First Nations, that kind of a thing. So let me know what you think about this. I'm definitely having fun diving into this Seminole style of patchwork. And so definitely put a comment down below if you'd be interested in seeing some tutorials for this style of patchwork. And until next time, happy sewing.